everyone, I'm Anita of my Duke and I podcast, and there is so much to talk about. But before I start, let me just say hello to everyone all over the globe, Sussex fans, Sussex squads, if you're listening for the first time, if you're in Europe, if you're in Africa, if you're in the Caribbean, if you're in the United States, if you're in Asia, if you're in Australia, wherever you are, I hope you're having a glorious day. And if you're seeing the show for the first time, be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification bell so when an episode comes out, you will be the first to know. OMG. Word is that Harry's book is coming out on January 10th, and it is called Spare. Oh, certainly, yes, it is called Spare. And I know a lot of people got up this morning and they are shaking in their boots, and they have a right to shake in their boots. I cannot wait to get my hands on that book. I will be reading every page and maybe even twice. Oh my goodness, Harry's much awaited book will be here on January 10th, 2023. What a nice New Year's gift. Make sure to buy one for yourself and buy one for anybody who probably cannot buy one for themselves, or just buy one for somebody as a gift. Yes, we want to make that book a #1 bestseller. Okay, so I am so happy. Spare is coming out in January 10th, 2023. I am so excited, you all. But a lot is also going on as well with the Sussexes other than Harry's book. So Megan just did her podcast on Tuesday, and I'm starting to think Tuesday is becoming the best day of the week for me, because I look forward so much to Tuesday. I look forward to listening to Megan's beautiful voice and the wonderful message that she has for the world. And I think that those conversations that she's having on her podcast can transcend to everybody's homes when they're sitting at their dinner table and having those discussions, because I think that what she is talking about, we really as a society have to look within ourselves and have this conversation amongst ourselves in order for us to to have a better world. And her last podcast was called Upending the Angry Black Woman Myth with Isare and Ziri. And it was just, I think so far every episode I say it was the best episode, but I'm gonna say it again, this one was the best episode, because it's so relatable, as a woman of color and how we're perceived in society. And we cannot create boundaries for ourselves. We cannot speak up, and when we speak up, we're perceived as being angry. And even when people provoke us, we cannot even self-respond, like Ketanji Brown Jackson, our recent Supreme Court justice. And we saw how she was provoked, and she just had to stay there and take it in and not respond in the way that they were eliciting that so-called angry black woman response. And she really handled herself really beautifully, as Megan mentioned on the podcast. So, all of that has to change. And then the other thing too that was brought up on the podcast, they said how we black women cannot experience, or we cannot express, we experience it, but we cannot express the other emotions that all other ethnic groups can or not can, but do experience, do feel, because we are put in a box. We are stereotyped as always being angry, and that certainly has to change. So it was just a beautiful conversation. Go ahead and listen to it. You will not be disappointed. So oh, and on that podcast, Megan revealed that she was 43% Nigerian. And I'm telling you, the Nigerian people, they really took her. But I'm telling you all, she's for all of us. Hello, Nigerian people out there. Megan is for all of us. Don't try to steal her. She's universal, okay? I'm just kidding. I love you people, Nigerian people. We all came from the motherland. All we colored people came from the motherland. So whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Ghana, my mom husband was from Ghana. Wherever you guys are in Africa, we all came from that one continent. So, but don't try to steal Megan for y'all, because it's gonna be a fight. Nigerians, you heard. But anyway, so much is happening, and one of the things that speaking of Nigeria, Nigeria has experienced this terrible flooding. So many people died in that flood, and I think it was about 600 people that died, and about 1.3 million people has been displaced, as well as a lot of people's homes and farmlands have been destroyed. And so Archwell Foundation, as well as Spotify, is also going to donate to Save the Children and UNICEF of Nigeria. And I know they're going to be grateful for whatever help they can get. And if anybody can help out there, please do help UNICEF and Save the Children, because they definitely need the help. It has been certainly devastating for the people of Nigeria. And that's the goodness of Megan. There you go. She's putting a spotlight on what is going on so that people can see and reach out. Also, too, Spotify did say that their projected growth was met in terms of the number of subscribers and the number of podcasts that has been created. They gave Megan a mention in the podcast growth and so on. So at Spotify, why don't you just go ahead and say Megan has transformed Spotify, and Megan is the reason for that growth? Just say it Spotify. Oh boy, don't we all love our Duchess. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is that, remember that jumper Megan wore when she went shopping, when she went about her business, and she was just, acting like, am I worried about what you guys just said about my podcast with Paris Hilton? I'm not worried about that. I do my thing, and I just go about my business. And she was going about her business shopping, and she had that jumper on her and this sweater. And I'm telling you, a lot of people, had a lot of negative things to say about it. But guess what? That thing sold out. Okay? Megan is the it factor. Everything she touches turns to gold. She is just that. Okay? So if you need yours, you better be ready to be on hold, because you're not getting one anytime soon. And also, those haters really did come for that lady that designed that that jumpsuit, and she really let them have it. She did not let them get away with that. She posted something on IG, on Instagram, and she clapped back. Okay, good for those haters. They think people are going to sit there and cower and not respond. No, we're ready for them. Okay, so yes, that's the Megan effect. And also, you remember when Megan did the Variety interview, and she said that White Lotus was a good show on television? Well, guess what? Jennifer Coolidge said, Megan, why don't you come over and do an episode? And you know how Megan said that she's not going back into acting? But she did say never. And I think that I would definitely love to see her once again on a jumbotron, a huge screen. I would really love to go to the movies and see Megan up there. And in my mind, I would like to see Tyler Perry do something for her, write, a rom-com, as she says it, a romantic comedy. I would love to see her in something like that. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for something like that. Wouldn't you all love to see Megan in something on the big screen with her beautiful self and her olive skin? Oh, I'm just imagining. Anyways, so now you can see Megan if you want to, and you would have to go to Indiana to see Megan if you want to. So Megan is going to be part of a forum where she's going to be the guest, and it's a little bit expensive. It's $5,000 for a seat, and that's taking place on November 29th. So if you want to go to Indianapolis and see Megan, you certainly can. You can reserve your appointment or your ticket on the website Women's Fund of Central Indiana. So go ahead, and if you really want to go, if you have the money, you can go and listen to our most beautiful Duchess. And I know you're not going to be disappointed, because everything that girl says is powerful, it's empowering, it's good for the soul. So go ahead if you can afford it, and and book your appointment, and let us know when you go. Share with us what your experience was like. Oh man, I wish I could go, but it's a little bit, time's so hard for me right now. Anyways, so definitely, if you can go, and the whatever money that is made, it's going to a good cause. I'm saying that, but it's going to a very, very good cause. That organization, Women's Fund of Central Indiana, they really support women in many ways. They support them financially, they support women in domestic situations, they support young girls, they support women of all color. So whatever your situation is, I feel like that organization in Indiana is a place for all women to reach out, whatever situation, whether they have domestic issues, whether they have mental health issues, whatever these issues are. That organization is fabulous, and whatever money that is raised is going to a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous cause. So go ahead. And now Mr. Harry, he is doing the world of things. People used to say Meghan married up. No, Meghan didn't marry up. Harry married up. Ever since Harry married Meghan, Harry has been shining. Harry has been talking some kind of talking about, oh, the potential is in you. And when you harvest that potential as a CEO of a company or a businessman, then you can harvest that potential in your employees. I'm like, what, Harry? Harry's been talking some kind of talk, And, as I said, if he was still in the UK, we would not be hearing things like that from Harry. So it's just fabulous that he is away from the UK, here in the United States, where he is free to express himself and dig deeper within himself and come up with those wonderful ideas for Better Up. He's the chief impact officer of Better Up. So Harry is really up there in those businesses, having a voice and, speaking to the public and so on. And that, I think that that space that he was in, I think 7,000 people was listening in on him. I'm not too sure, 7,700. But anyway, it was like a lot of people listening to Harry. So Harry is getting better as a public speaker. He did say he had some nerves speaking. I myself have some nerves speaking. I'm speaking to the camera, but I'm still thinking that people are looking at me. I have to get over that. That's a mental thing that I have to get over. So By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, um, in the in Megan's recent podcast, I think at the end of it she played um Maya Angelou's Still I Rise. And I that poem is such a reflection of Megan's life. The first verse in the poem says, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I rise." And that is what they're trying to do with Meghan and Harry. They're trying to write them down in history with really terrible lies. They're trying to muddy them, but still, they're rising. And that's what I love about them. Now, also too, there was another event that Harry participated in recently, and it had to do with safety on the internet, on social media, with young people. And that was recently, I think Omid posted an image of it on his Twitter page. So there it is right there. You can see it here. And as I said, Meghan and Harry's Archwell Foundation, their website, they are posting a lot of stuff lately. I used to frequent the website a lot, and there wasn't a lot of updates on it, but I think right now they are really updating their website, and most of the things that they're doing right now is reflected on Archwell. So much is coming up. Remember that awards that Megan is supposed to receive in December, and on November 29th she's going down to Indianapolis. So you could read up on all of those things on their website, archwell.com. So they're really updating. Now, in other royal news, so Prince Charles, or Chuck, as I like to call him, Chuck. Better yet, even tampon Chuck. Oh my goodness, I have to put out the transcript of that fun conversation that Camilla and tampon Charles had. But anyway, so he met with the UK new Prime Minister, and I'm telling you, this UK... God bless those people that is living in the United Kingdom. I thought American politics was messy, but the UK politics is worse. It is really messy. So this would be since the Queen passed away. The Queen passed away on September 8th, and since then today is November 27th, and Chuck has met two prime ministers since. I'm telling you, from September to November, they've had two prime ministers. Tell me if the UK politics is not a whole lot of mess. It is just a whole lot of mess. So he met, and the new prime minister is Rishi Sunak. I hope he's prepared for the racism that is coming his way, because, he's a person of color. And you know how they treated Meghan over there. So their politics, as I said, is messy as their media, and messy as some of the members of the royal family. So just saying. And yeah, and then in other royal news as well, the other royals, Kate decided that she's going back to work after taking 2 weeks off. Remember, she had went on the scene just after the burial of the late Queen. And when she got on that scene, the backlash that she got, all the things that she endured by the public with the booing and telling her the island belongs to the Irish, and all of that, and all the jeering and the booing that they received, trying to ride on the popularity of the Queen's passing. They had to retrieve. They had to go back and rethink what they were doing, because it just wasn't working. So they're going back out there again, thinking that it's going to be better, but I think it's going to be worse. After Harry's book comes out, it's just going to be like Oh my goodness, I want to read it. I want to read it. They are shaking in their boots. I know the palace got up this morning and they heard the title of that book, and they got the confirmed dates that Penguin Random House put out today, and I know they are worried. They are all sleepless and fretting in the UK right now because Harry's book is about to drop. Oh yes. And another thing again too that I read up on is that Prince Charles, Tampon Chuck, the Queen hasn't even rotted as yet, and he's already trying to sell off the Queen's horses. So I heard that he's going to auction off 14 of the Queen's horses. I'm telling you, the only thing that excites Tampon Charlie is money. And he's going to try to see what kind of money he can make of the poor Queen's horses. Those poor horses, they haven't even had a chance to grieve the passing of their owner, and here Tampon Charlie is trying to sell them off. Oh my goodness. But anyways, guys, I am off to work. Sorry for the late podcast. It's been a struggle, but I try to do the best that I can. And guys, I love you guys. My mind is always on you guys, and bear with me. It is going to get better. I'm a working person and I am a mother of 4. I got a lot on my table and it's only me. I'm responsible for all of that. But anyways, I love you guys. Take care and bye.